When it comes to sales, why is it sometimes you go to meetings and sales managers are completely freaked out, and what do you need to know about it? I'm Scott Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Austin, Texas on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. So here's the thing. You got to think about it this way. You have certain numbers and certain agendas that you've lived up to and said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to produce $500,000 in a month. I'm going to produce $250,000 a month. I'm going to produce $100,000 in a month. And so you got to know that what happened was you take as many salespeople who have made that commitment. Let's say every salesperson on the team is committed to $250,000 in sales in a month, and there's 10 of them. That means it's $2.5 million in that month that's got to get sold. So for every sales manager, there's somebody above them, and they're looking down at the sales manager, and they're saying, sales manager, we're at this point of the month, and we're projecting on the numbers, and how come these numbers aren't working out? And sometimes managers who are not paying attention to the numbers and they're not paying attention to what needs to be done, they go into panic mode because they're getting pressure from the top to have people close deals. And they're saying, hey, look, your bonus is on the line. So what do? They take this pressure that's right here, and then they push it down on the sales team, and they're like, sales team, what you need to know is you got to go out and you got to close deals. And then they give you all the mantras that you're going to, hear. It takes balls to sell, right? You can't show up and throw up. Always be closing. And you hear all this old school stuff, and you're like, where is this coming from? This isn't this. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. On one day you have one type of sales manager, on another day you have another type of sales manager. It could very well be that they're being pressured from the ownership group. It could very well be that they're under the pressure themselves, and they're looking at the numbers and they're panicking. And you have 10 salespeople in the world of sales. This is my belief. 4 of the people on the team typically should not be on the team because they're not salespeople. 4 people could be helped. They're roughly going to be okay. And 2 of the people are going to be closers. Roughly, right? That's not always the way it's going to play out. And so there's people who have ups and downs. And so these ups and downs, these peaks and valleys, they cross across each other. And there's a point where there is a lot of pressure on a sales manager to get stuff done, to meet budget, because those sales drive marketing dollars. They drive all the office costs. Nothing in a company makes money until you sell something. And so owners look around and they're like, oh my goodness, we don't have revenue coming in. And then so what happens is they haven't thought through what's going to happen, and they come up with these crazy deals which cut your commission, and you're like, I don't want to go out and sell like this. But the manager is looking up this way and going, I got to make the owners happy. And they're looking down this way and looking at the sales team from up above the mountain. But now you got to go out and close deals. So sometimes you're like, why is my sales manager in such a panic, and what happened, and why all of a sudden are these wild deals happening where they're cutting all sorts of money, or they're calling people behind me and trying to close deals that are in the CRM? Why is that happening? Because there's pressure coming down the mountain, and then what happens is that rolls down to you. So it's not just you that's under pressure in an organization. And sometimes you're like, hey Scott, this sounds so basic. It does, until you realize sometimes the meetings that you end up in, and for the butt chewings that you get, it's not necessarily that you did anything wrong. It's just that there's so much pressure coming down from the top, from whatever layer of management or whatever layer of ownership that's up there, pushing down and saying, you have to do this, you have to make this happen. And then, you have the people on the sales team who just, some of them, 2 of them out of 10 just don't care. They're like, oh, look, there's paint on the wall over here. Or, oh, look, we have carpeting in the building. And then they do stupid things in the meeting. So you're like, why does my sales manager put so much pressure on me sometimes? It could be that they believe in you and it's not normal, but it also could be that there's all this pressure coming from the top, and you just need to be aware of it. You need to be aware of what's going on. And I know that sounds really basic, but that's one of the reasons why managers panic when they're in sales. There you go. You got one thing to do from here, just one thing. Find the subscribe button, click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says Scott Bell Consultant sent another fantastic video, probably from a cool location. Today I'm in Austin, Texas. We'll see you soon. Thanks for dropping by. Aloha.